what exactly do you mean by that? Not that I'm interested in your constant bullshit babbling. Well, what I mean is that this feels like the same exact thing that happened to Spider-Man. I mean, Spider-Man had a bunch of movies in the mid 2000s, back when it was okay to do your own thing, no matter which studio you owned by. But then when the cinematic universe was growing, Spider-Man was like, well, we don't care. We are rebooting, but we're not rebooting to be in the Avengers universe. We're just rebooting to continue to have the rights, so Sony can continue do their own thing with Spider-Man. So that's what we're gonna do. And they did it, and they fell flat on their face. It was a financial disaster. Well, not exactly financial disaster, but it was a financial disappointment, I guess I should say. To the point where, like, okay, fine. We fucked up with our chance. We decided to reboot, but we didn't reboot with Marvel. We decided to do our own reboot, and it wound up being sucky, so fine. We're giving the rights back to Marvel. There you go, Marvel. God damn it. Or at least they're sharing the rights with Marvel. There you go, half Marvel. God, half damn it. Anyway, so yes, So what I was afraid of is that we were going to get the exact same thing with Fantastic Four. They could have easily just cut out the middleman, the middleman the Spider-Man did, which was, reboot their own thing, and then be like, oh shit, this reboot was fucking awful. Let's just give the rights back to Marvel before we keep butt fucking it over and over again. But no, they're like, no, let's not learn from what Spider-Man did, and let's just keep going with our own reboot. Yay, reboot! And how exactly did it turn out? Apparently, well, how it turned out was just about the same, if not worse. Great. Yep. It turns out that a lot of people really hate this Fantastic Four movie. Well, I do too, because why am I wasting my time looking at a bunch of moving pictures on screen when I could be killing people? Hey, being a supervillain isn't all about killing people. Well, I doubt it's also about reviewing movies. True. You got me there, but who cares? Fuck you. I'm gonna continue with this review. So yes, so you see, this movie just kept going, and it feels like they're still, setting themselves up to be kind of like the Spider-Man franchise, where, it seems like all the deja vu parts are there. They scheduled a sequel before the first movie even came out. It's set for 2017. And they're like, yeah, this franchise will keep going, and it just seems like a matter of history repeating itself. It just seems like this is gonna exactly be what Spider-Man did, only a little bit worse because of how this movie is being treated. But the question is, how do I feel about this movie? Well, I couldn't care less about your opinion. I couldn't care any less about anyone's opinion about any movie. And that is why I am a reviewer and you are not. So, because Mr. McGrumpy Pants is too grumpy to talk about this movie, then I'm gonna do it for him. I am going to carry the load. I hope the load squishes you, and all of your innards come squeezing out. Well, thanks for the confidence boost. Jesus Christ. Okay, so let's begin by discussing the movie, by taking it apart bit by bit. I want to take you apart bit by bit. Ooh, kinky. That's not what I meant. But anyway, so let's start with the beginning of the movie, where we get the 20th Century Fox logo, with all its glorious music, being like, we don't deserve Marvel characters. We screw them over. We screw them over real bad. And here's your picture. Don't ever do that again. Okay, fine. But anyway, and then when they and then when they fade to black, they let they hold on the F for a few moments. Oh, and we're like, oh, cute. They're trying to recapture the magic of the X-Men films, because the X-Men films would do that. They would have the X stay in frame while everything else blacked out. And I'm like, oh, sweet. But now that Fantastic Four is doing it, they're like, oh, okay, you're seeming kind of desperate. Maybe that's the real reason why they gave up Daredevil, because there was no D in 20th Century Fox. So they're like, okay, fuck it, we're gonna hand over Daredevil because there's no D in the 20th Century Fox logo. Whoopsie doodle. So anyway, then we get the Marvel, a sequence, and I'm like, hey, don't confuse people. People are gonna wonder whether or not this is in the cinematic universe, and we're gonna tell them, no. So anyway, so we start with a classroom in 2007, where we see little Reed Richards as a little boy. Okay, fuck no, he would not be that young. The guy who, Jesus Christ, the guy who plays him is like, he's like 28. He would not be this age in 2007, you dumbasses. Ugh, I guess, so why did they get a whole bunch of people in their late 20s and early 30s to play friggin' teenagers? That is something that it happens a lot in Hollywood. I mean, sometimes you get actual teenagers, and then other times you get older people, because sometimes when you actually do get teenagers, it gets really creepy sexualizing them. So, yeah, there's that. So anyway, so little boy Reed is talking about his great dreams to create a teleporter, and he has all the science, and he's talking about that in class, about what he wants to do when he grows up, and he catches the attention from little boy Ben Grimm, and it's like, oh, he's eventually gonna mutate into a horrible rock abomination, and so usually when you have this kind of thing, you want to be the most ideal teacher must be one that is, I believe that ideal teachers, who notice that their students are all about, science and whatnot, and are about, aspiring to do great than they can possibly do, science-wise. I believe that teachers should be encouraging in that and interested, and, should help those kids out. If their kid is gonna, if their student is gonna talk about something as far-fetched as wanting to create a teleporter, then encourage them. Be like, okay, well, do you know the science? Have you researched this? Have you studied like how how close people are into doing this? Maybe I should recommend you to some books and stuff. I support your aspirations to do great than you already are. I support this. And the teacher in this movie is like, nope, I'm going to discourage him as much as possible. Fuck you, Reed. Fuck you and your dreams. I'm gonna put your face in shit, and I'm gonna encourage all the students to make fun of you. Jesus Christ, why is this teacher so horrible? Wait a minute. I know why this teacher is so horrible. It's Homer Simpson! It all makes sense now. It makes sense now why he is such a shithole, treating his student like complete shit. It's because he's Homer Simpson. And Homer Simpson, of course, is known for being a fucking dumbass. And so, if Homer Simpson were to be a teacher, of course he'd treat his students like shit. In fact, I'm surprised. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if, with what they got, like almost 600 fucking episodes now. There's bound to be one where Homer's like, I'm gonna be a teacher in this episode, and so And so, of course, he treats his students like fucking dumbasses. So it all makes sense now. I'm sorry, Homer, for getting mad at you. You're only, you can only be so not stupid. What the fuck is The Simpsons? Oh, you got a lot to learn in this world, my friend. Oh boy, I can't believe you don't have The Simpsons. You haven't lived if you haven't seen The Simpsons, or at least the early seasons. Not the recent shit. So anyway, so teacher Homer Simpson is like, oh fuck you, Reed, blah blah blah, and Reed is like, I'm gonna continue to aspire, and so he sneaks into this junkyard, which is owned by the Grimms, the Ben Grimm's family, and Ben Grimm has to come home to his shit, to his shit brother who beats him, and his mother who beats his brother for beating him, and it's like, oh wow, I had no idea how rough Ben's life is, huh? Too bad they don't. Too bad they don't touch upon that in the rest of the fucking movie. But anyway, Ben Grimm, has a very poor life, lower class, hanging out in this junkyard. But then he notices that someone is snooping, and it's Reed. And so Ben decides to help him out with his project, which is to create a teleporter. And so they put together a machine, and Reed has put together the science. He has done the science over and over again. Wait a minute. There's no way a stupid kid could do this. Well, I, on the other hand, happen to don't mind that they're doing this. You see, I believe that they're doing an homage to 1980s kids adventure films like Goonies and This Is Stand By Me and whatever the hell's that other movie with the technologically what was it called, the Navigators, or the Flight of the Navigation. I don't fucking know. Wait, hold on. Let me see if I can figure out which third movie I am talking about. But anyway, I believe that this movie is akin to those classic films that are all about kids doing way more awesome, bigger stuff than what they would actually do in real life. I believe that is what this movie is about. I still don't remember what the fuck that movie was about that I'm trying to come up with. Okay, I'm looking it up now. Let's see here. Okay, The Explorers. Yes, The Explorers. I believe that it's akin to The Explorers. And so, I didn't see The Explorers, by the way, but I know it's on Netflix. I keep putting it off, goddammit. But anyway, so yes, So anyway, Reed teleports a car into another universe, and he gets back a rock, and he has know where those rocks comes from. He doesn't know where these rocks are coming from, and where they go. Where do they come from? Where do they go? Oh, Cotton Eye Joe. Yes. All he does know is that he sucks up all the power in his neighborhood. Jesus Christ, how come he hasn't answered for any of this? Anyway, cut to 7 years later. There's no way he is that young. Anyway, cut to 7 years later, where he is in high school, and he's still best old buddies with Ben Grimm, and they have a science fair, a high school science fair, and I don't know why no one is coming up to him and asking him, sir, you look like you're 37. Why are you here at a high school science fair? And he's like, shh. I'm a teenager, I guess. But anyway, Homer Simpson is still a teacher there, and he's still like, ugh. Okay, Reed, here's some scientists to show off your bullshit invention. Why do you keep insisting that he's a cartoon character? He's clearly a real person. Well, he's the voice of Homer Simpson. And Krusty the Clown. So Krusty the Clown is like, okay, fine, show off your bullshit invention. And Reed is like, okay, take this plane, for example, that I'm going to steal from this kid. I am going to teleport it to what I assume is like the African desert or something, and then I'm going to have it show back up here. See, ta-da! And Grandpa Simpson is like, no, this is just a magic trick. You're fucking stupid. You caused You caused the basketball board to break and shatter into a bunch of pieces. I mean, I should be probably be a little bit interested by this invention because even though I don't believe that you teleported that tiny toy plane, I should at least be admired by the fact that your invention managed to break a backboard of a basketball. But nope, I'm still fucking stupid disapproving teacher who's like, I'm gonna treat it like shit, shit, now I'm gonna go shit away. You really hate that teacher. Well, I believe that teachers should be more supportive of their students. Jesus Christ, instead of shitting all over them. So anyway, Ben Grimm, who even though is, who is best friends with Reed, a good friend of Reed, is not into the scientific stuff, so he's like, oh, whatever, man, okay. But then, it just so happens that Franklin Storm is there. Franklin Storm, who in the comic books is Reed's son. But is named after Sue Storm's father. Oh, wait a minute, I guess this is Sue Storm's father. So Sue Storm's father is there, and he's very interested by this machine. He believes that it will help them, because he is a scientist for an organization called the Baxter Foundation, a high-tech institute. And he's brought his daughter along. Oh, look, there's Sue Storm, and she also looks like she's like 34, even though she's supposed to be playing, I guess, a teenager or something. I don't know. We're in a high school. We're like in a high school science fair for some reason. By the way, why would a scientist from a fancy organization like Baxter Institute, why would they be here at a high school science fair? Why are you asking me as if I care? All I care about is seeing all of them die. Just like that person right there. The one who's... Let's save the sad deaths for later in the movie. Thank you very much. So anyway, moving on. So yes, Franklin Storm is very interested like this. Unlike that shit teacher who's voiced by Homer Simpson. Fuck Homer Simpson. I stopped watching just recently. Take that, Homer Simpson, with your shitting on Reed. So anyway, Franklin Storm decides to give him a full-on scholarship. And so, Mr. Sorry, he's not Mr. Fantastic yet. Or ever, now that I think of it. Reed Storm, I'm mixing up on my names. Reed Richards, moves into the Baxter Institute. And unfortunately, Ben doesn't get to move in with him. Ben is doing his own thing. But we get some character between them. We get a feeling of we get a feeling of their friendship, because Ben is very self-deprecating. He feels like he was raised in shit, and so he thinks he's shit. But he believes that Reed is better than him and more fantastic than him, and so he believes that Reed deserves this life. And Reed keeps insisting that he deserves it too, but Ben Grimm is willing to admit that he just tacked on for the ride, and he needs to get back to his shit life and his junkyard with the Grimms. Meet the Grimms. So anyway, so he leaves Baxter University. I wonder if Baxter University was founded by Baxter Stockman, huh? In my universe, Baxter Stockman was the first to die. Oh God. Oh, so anyway, so he meets the fellow scientists such as Sue Storm again, and has this awkward meeting with her in a library where he's like, hey, look at this cool book. I'm showing you this book as if you've never seen this book before, even though everyone has. It's a freaking book that everyone knows. 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. Jesus Christ, Reed, what makes you think that no one else has ever freaking heard of that iconic book, you dumbass?